Hey Warriors fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today we have a fresh Warriors news and rumors video for you guys. Listen, we got a couple of good interview clips that reveal a lot about what happened this past season. Durant, Curry, all good stuff we have. We're gonna jump right into, starting with Curry's been praising D'Angelo Russell. Now remember, Steph Curry worked out with D'Angelo Russell in July, did a lot of private workouts together, and apparently he liked what he saw. So he met with the media yesterday, Steph Curry that is, and heaped a ton of praise on D'Angelo Russell as a teammate, saying, we got the quote right here for you guys, we'll throw it up on the screen. Quote, he's just amazingly talented and skilled, and he's got creativity in terms of ball handling. The way he can see the floor, obviously he can shoot the lights out. He'll give us a different look in terms of somebody who can have the ball in their hands and create offense, and we're going to need that play-making ability. This is interesting for me, though, because, again, Steph Curry loves what he sees. He's not going to say anything bad, which is one thing, but he says we know he can shoot the lights out. I'm curious your guys' thoughts on D'Angelo Russell as a shooter. Now, again, ball handler, pick and roll, he can shoot, but is he an elite shooter? We got a graphic for you guys right here. This shows his last 4 years in terms of shooting percentage from the field, or from the floor, I should say, and then from the three-point range. So he's about a 40% field goal shooter, which is fine, but the three-point range is where he has not been that good. Now, last year was his best year, shooting 37% from three, but is that enough in a Warriors offense? Now, again, he's not going to be Klay Thompson, and I know because Klay Thompson last year, for the past 4 years, never shot less than 46% from the field, never shot less than 41% from three over the last 4 years. So there is going to be a drop-off in terms of efficiency from behind the three-point line, but will it matter? That's the question. We do this all the time when the Warriors report here. We try and figure out how D'Angelo Russell and Steph Curry are going to work together, right? I mean, that's just something that we've tried to essentially grasp ever since they went out and made the trade for D'Angelo Russell. Now, a lot of people, including myself, think it's going to work just fine. Steph Curry thinks it's going to work fine as well. But when he mentioned he's going to shoot the lights out, or he does shoot the lights out, I'm going, is that necessarily the case? He's not a terrible shooter, but he's not a Klay Thompson shooter, and we are going to be very curious on what it's like transitioning from a Klay Thompson, at least for majority of the year until he's back from being healthy, to a D'Angelo Russell ball-dominant pick-and-roll point guard that they now have ready to rock up there at the new Chase Arena in San Francisco. So question for you guys here. Will D'Angelo Russell and Steph be the best shooting backcourt in the NBA with Klay out? A lot of good shooting backcourts, right? Start thinking of the ones in your mind right now. You think like Houston being pretty good. Eventually, the Nets are going to be pretty good. Can we still be the best shooting backcourt in the NBA without Klay and insert D'Angelo Russell? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments down below. All right, moving on here. The Warriors schedule came out. You can Google it right now and see all 82 games. You guys can pick and choose the ones you guys want to go to. I decided to go through and give you the top 5 best Warrior games this year. The 5 you cannot miss in order from 1 all the way down to 5. Number 1 for me, right off the bat, baby, October 24th at home against the Clippers. Chase Arena is going to be rocking. It's going to be crazy. And you say Clippers because Kawhi Leonard. It's technically our revenge game to see if we can get one back on Kawhi Leonard, who really, the Finals MVP, played very well against us when he was up in Toronto in this last year's Finals. I know, I don't want to talk about it, but this to me would be number 1. If you were going to pick any game to go to, the opener, October 24th, this is the one you want to get into because it is the revenge game against Kawhi. Next, number 2, how about the 13th of November at the Los Angeles Lakers? It'll be our first look at the Warriors versus the new look Lakers. So Anthony Davis, LeBron James, we have to see how these two battle it out because, again, a lot of people, including myself, think that the Warriors, one of their biggest challenges, at least a competition in the West, even though it's stacked and everyone's good, is going to be the Los Angeles Lakers with Anthony Davis. So how do we match up? How does Kevon Looney look? How does Draymond Green look against Anthony Davis? Back and forth, who guards LeBron James without Klay Thompson? A lot of questions here. That's going to be a big one. Circle your calendars, November 13th. Next, let's go February 5th at the Brooklyn Nets. Now you're saying, ooh, it's a Durant game. Well, Durant probably won't be playing in this game if we're doing our math correct. I can almost guarantee he won't be. Actually, later on in the season, we probably won't see Durant in a uniform against the Warriors, but you've got to bet your bottom dollar that Durant will be in the building for this game. And so where does it psychologically sit with the Warriors as they look across the bench and see their former, Finals MVP, 2-time NBA champion teammate sitting right there, albeit he's not playing, but that's a big one to circle as well on the 5th. January 8th could be, if you are thinking the Warriors could go to the NBA Finals, a Finals preview with the Milwaukee Bucks, as I think they're probably the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. Could be a good preview of how the West stacks up against the East. And finally, the Christmas Day game, the 25th of December, playing the Rockets. I think the Rockets are going to be a fascinating team. Russell Westbrook, obviously, and James Harden. The Warriors have had the Rockets number for every single season, it really feels like. But it's a new look Rockets team. How do they play with Russ? Who really, if you really think about it, the Rockets have a very new situation that's similar to the Warriors. You have your, point guard who's a crazy great shooter, and essentially Steph Curry and James Harden. They now get ball-dominant point guards to come play with them, who are scorers, but not necessarily elite shooters. Now, again, D'Angelo Russell's a better shooter than Russell Westbrook, but again, that's going to be a very interesting combination to watch those guys go and play on the 25th. Those are the top 5. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of good games for the Warriors. I think they have the second most primetime or nationally televised games behind the Lakers, something like 40 games, which is what we expect up there at the new Chase Arena. So very excited to see them on national TV as often as possible. Let me ask you guys this. If you could only go to one Warriors game this year, just one. Now, some of you might not go to any, some of you might go to a bunch, doesn't matter. If you can only pick one, which one would it be? Let me know in the comment section down below. The next one here, if we move on to the Warriors rumors video for today, how about Kevin Durant speaking with the media for the first time since his injury? He addressed a ton of stuff, including, the past beef with Draymond Green, his move to Brooklyn. But what was very interesting is that he spoke on his injury and emphatically emphasized that he does not blame the Warriors at all for, of course, the calf that was originally a calf and then became the Achilles tear, which we all saw in the NBA Finals. The quote here is pretty straight up in your face. Here it is, quote, "Hell no. How can you blame the Warriors? Hell no. I heard the Warriors pressured me into getting back. Nobody never said a word to me during rehab as I was coming back." He later on went on to say that he was citing Game 5 or Game 6 to come back, and so it was a date he set. He went out there, and he kept saying it was a freak accident. So does this change anyone's perspective of what many people thought was the Warriors rushing him back and, kind of forcing the injury? Now, they didn't do it on purpose. They weren't like, ooh, let's get him injured because he's going to leave. I never thought that. But maybe it was like, he's like 80%. He'll be fine. Let's put him out there, because that was the reports that came out right after the finals. Durant emphatically says no, doesn't throw his old team underneath the bus, and I think as Warriors fans, that's a big, big plus right there. Listen, there have been a lot of players, you've seen the list before, we'll throw it up right now, who have suffered Achilles injuries. Boogie Cousins, of course, comes to mind. Kobe, Rudy Gay, Dominic Wilkins, Chauncey Billups. The list was a lot longer. The big ones to me to note, Dominic was able to come back and be better. Kobe was already at the age where he really wasn't going to come back and be better, but he was worse. And Boogie I guess came back better. I think still up to be decided there. But overall, it's a big ask for Durant to come back in Brooklyn now and be as productive as he was in Golden State, which I guess is good for us because we got the peak. We got the best of Kevin Durant if you're looking at like a glass half full kind of thing. I'm curious, when he eventually returns to the Bay Area, because he's eventually going to come back and play in Chase Arena, whether it's this season, next season, whatever. Would you boo Kevin Durant or would you cheer for him? Because remember Oklahoma City, the boo, the cupcakes, the soft, all that stuff. I'm curious what you guys would do. I want to gauge the fan base here because I feel like I would cheer. I don't think he did anything wrong in leaving. I mean, it's tough, but I get it. I understand. Of course, we still have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, so it's not that big a deal. I would cheer. I'm curious what you guys think. Type B down below for boo and C down below for cheer. This is going to be the one. I want to see the comments. If you're watching this video and like 13,000 every single week does, I want to see like at least a couple thousand B's and C's. I really want to gauge the fan base here. Just go down below. It takes a second. And finally here, Draymond Green's contract situation, which of course he signed an extension recently, 4-year, $100 million extension, has kind of revealed some nuances of it that are interesting that you guys are going to want to know about. His contract has a 15% trade kicker and also has a 5th-year option. Now, this is all new to us. We didn't know that this was the case, but basically the 15-year or 15% trade kicker means that if they were to trade him at any point during his contract, an additional 15% of whatever remains on the life of the contract, whether you got 3 months or 3 years, is going to be boosted up there. So it's additional 15% that is added on. That's a big player-friendly deal right there. And the 5th-year option is a huge player-friendly deal as well. We originally thought 4 years, $100 million. It is not the case. It is actually going to be 4 years with a 5th-year option meaning in 5 years from now, Draymond Green can opt back in and come back to be a Warrior for 1 more year. This is something that we were waiting to see what the details were going to be for the Draymond Green contract, and for me, team friendly, the Warriors took care of him, and it continues to be a case where the team is managed very well. They look after their players, especially with what Durant said earlier, where they didn't force him back. That's a check for the organization. And now the good contract there for Draymond Green is another big bonus, which again, helps keep your players happy, and also in the future will help lure free agents who are going, they take care of their guys down there in Golden State. I'm a big fan of that. Draymond Green's stats are one thing, 7.4 points per game, 45% from the floor, 7 rebounds, 7 assists basically. That's one thing or another. It doesn't really bother me in terms of stats. We know how important he is on the floor every given night. He's the leader really of, more the bouncer, I would say, but he is a big vocal leader, and I'm glad that we have him back for the next 4 years, possibly 5 years, with the new contract. There you go. That's all the time we have for today on the Warriors news and rumors video. Be sure to subscribe to Chat Sports because we do a ton of basketball stuff here on the channel. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you're not, and maybe you're a Bay Area fan, you're looking for some Niner content, I do all of the San Francisco 49ers videos, so be sure to subscribe here. And also you can subscribe to our 49ers channel as well, www.chatsports.com/49ers. It's the place to do that. I know you guys are in the Bay Area. I know you guys like all that content. I got you. I'm here for you. Again, there we go. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.